Election Day Bake Sale will be sponsored by the Cecil Volunteer Fire Company Ladies Auxiliary on Tuesday, tomorrow, November 6th at the Fire Hall. Municipal offices will be closed Monday, November 12th in observance of Veterans Day, Thursday and Friday, November 22nd and 23rd in observance of Thanksgiving holiday. Normal business hours will resume 8 a.m. Tuesday, November 13th and Monday, November 26th. Next item, due to the Thanksgiving holiday, the Cecil Township Historical Society will meet on Wednesday, November 14th at 7. Cecil Township Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee will meet Thursday, November 15th at 5 o'clock in the meeting room. And the Harvest Dance, sponsored by the Cecil Volunteer Fire Company Ladies Auxiliary, will be Saturday, November 17th from 6 to 11 at the Fire Hall. Admission is $35 a couple. Fall leaf collection began on Monday, October 22nd. Leaves will be picked up through Thursday. Bag leaves are to be placed out in biodegradable bags. Loose leaves must be raked to the curb, and it's recommended to call the municipal building to pick up of those loose leaves. Next item, the 14th annual Toys for Tots Drive, Saturday, December 1st from 9 to noon at the Public Works, Cecil Township Public Works. Refreshments will be provided, and Santa Claus will be spending time with us that morning. Lunch with Santa, sponsored by the Cecil Volunteer Fire Company, number 3, Ladies Auxiliary, Saturday, December 1st from noon to 3 at the Fire Hall. Very well. Before we start our next item, we have a guest to get an update. State Senator Bartolotta is present to give us a state of the 46th. Thank you. Welcome, Cameron.
Thank you very much. Good evening. First, I have a big thank you to the board, Chairman Barry Sivavec, Manager Don Januso, and the rest of the board and supervisors for inviting me to the meeting today. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and to share some updates with you. I'm Senator Bartolotta, for anyone who doesn't know, and I represent the 46th Senatorial District, which is all of Greene County, all of Washington County, except for Peters, and 6 municipalities in Beaver County. That's 97 municipalities for those of you keeping score at home. It is a lot of ground to cover, so I really appreciate the opportunities like this to catch up on what is going on around the district. As I think many of you do know, my district director is a Cecil resident and usually tries to be on top of any state-related issues around here on behalf of my office. That is Will Tolmeyer. However, I try my hardest to be very accessible. So if you ever do need anything, please just ask and contact any of the offices via email or phone call or stop by. On the local level, recently the Pennsylvania Turnpike project has certainly been the most challenging issue in my office that we've been working on here in Cecil. And as you all well know, the flooding and other property damage issues, as well as the seemingly constant road closures and detours associated with the Southern Beltway construction, were major headaches all summer. My office worked with Representative Jason Ortitai, along with officials from Cecil and McDonald, to hold the Turnpike and their contractors accountable for the stormwater management failures. Those efforts appear to have paid off. And recently, there have been no additional flooding that I've been made aware of along the Cecil-McDonald border. I'm hopeful their message was received and there will be no further issues. And if there are, we have numbers on speed dial. Another project that has compounded some of the Turnpike road closures and detours has been the Route 50 bridge replacement project that is just about to wrap up. The bridge was originally scheduled to be completed in October, but was delayed due to rain and weather. That project is part of the PA Rapid Bridge Replacement Program, a public-private partnership, or P3 initiative, that is replacing over 500 structurally deficient bridges across Pennsylvania. The P3 team has assured me that they will be reopening Route 50 on November 8th or November 9th.
Yes.
So that should be good news. And if they don't, again, double speed dial. Finally, I know Muse Bishop Road is a road that my office has received calls on in the past. PennDOT Washington County Maintenance has assured me that they will be moving that road up on their schedule and plan to repave next year. In other local news, Cecil Township as a whole was recently the recipient of about $4 million in various state grant funding decisions. So I think that's a major positive to highlight. This state funding will support infrastructure, roadway, and economic development initiatives that will help to keep Cecil moving forward. $1 million was awarded to the Cool Valley Business Park project to help with grading and infrastructure. When finished, that project will bring additional economic development and job opportunities to the township. In conjunction with the Cool Valley project, PennDOT announced a $2.8 million in road improvement projects through the Transportation Infrastructure Investment Funds Program to State Route 1009, Morganza Road, and State Route 1036, Lowicki Road. The project will improve traffic flow and provide additional turning lanes and accommodate increased traffic expected from the completion of the Southern Beltway. Finally, the Cecil Municipal Authority was awarded $118,000 for their Windcrest Drive project to improve their system and correct a chronic backup and overflow situation. If there are any other projects in Cecil Township on the horizon, and it seems like Parks and Rec is always a hot topic, and water and sewer infrastructure is always needed, please do not hesitate to have Mr. Genoso contact my office. My staff and I would be very happy to work with you and find available funding to make those projects a reality. Also, as long as we're talking about sewage, I did receive a copy of a letter recently from Mr. Sivavec and Mr. Cassiola that Cecil received from the Canonsburg-Houston Authority. The letter seems to call into question their ability to handle additional treatment capacity at the plant. Obviously, this would negatively impact potential economic and residential development efforts at Cool Valley and elsewhere in the township. I still need to learn more about the issue, but I will be happy to work with the Cecil Board of Supervisors and Mr. Genuso to address these concerns and find a resolution. And we'll be setting up meetings in the very near future to go over all of those issues. Finally, with the 2017-2018 legislative session wrapped up, there is not a whole lot to report on the Harrisburg front. Any legislation that was not passed in both the House and the Senate and signed by the governor will have to be reintroduced in the 2019-2020 session. There's always the possibility that the House and Senate leaders will call the General Assembly back to Harrisburg for session days before November 30th, but that's not been the practice to hold a lame duck session, especially for voting in Pennsylvania for very, very many years. Two quick items that I would ask you to keep an eye on that I've heard about from a number of municipalities in the 46th district. First is radar for local police. This is a major safety issue. Every single police chief in my district, including our chief, has been in favor of this, and it has passed the Senate for 2 consecutive sessions. The proposal cannot seem to get the votes it needs to pass in the House. So we keep trying. We'll keep teeing it up. The bill's author has even compromised to include language that would prevent rogue police departments from using it as a money-making scheme. Pennsylvania is the only state in the nation that prevents the local police from using this technology. The only one. This would give our police the ability to target and enforce speed limits in places where they cannot now, even though excessive speed may be creating unsafe conditions in our neighborhoods. Everybody knows the terrain in Western Pennsylvania. It's very hilly, it's very curvy, you can't see around bends, we've got school buses, we've got kids getting on and off school buses, we have elderly people, disabled folks getting out of vehicles, and there are too many places where people just speed through and cause an unsafe environment. And having radar for local police would greatly help that situation and help our local police make sure that they're maintaining safety. Also, I have heard from many municipalities about House Resolution HR 291, and that's a resolution passed unanimously by the House of Representatives in March. The resolution directs the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue, or DOR, to study replacing the current local earned income tax, or the EIT, collection system. The DOR, in consultation with the Department of Community and Economic Development, or DCED, and the Independent Fiscal Office, IFO. Sounds like I'm calling them bingo, doesn't it? Start all the letters. They've been tasked to determine the feasibility and potential cost savings associated with replacing the current EITC collection methods with a statewide collection method administered by the Department of Revenue. Revenue is supposed to report the findings and recommendations to the House and the Senate Finance Committees no later than December 31st of this year. At this point, this resolution only authorizes a study. However, the municipalities that I've heard from have been unanimously opposed to creating a statewide EITC collection system. So please just keep that on your radar as well. I think that is all I have for the legislative update as of now. And if you have any questions, feel free. Otherwise, I turn it back over to you.
Very well. Thank you.